Now, before we get going here, and I show you the paint job that we did yesterday afternoon, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, where is it here? The NATO black, a little hatch. I want to just paint that with the NATO black. Yeah, we'll see how today goes. Now you can't help but notice that it looks a little bit more gray than usual. Well, that's because at this moment there's rain moving in. Yeah, it started raining here about half an hour after we took this shot. Now, earlier I did catch a happier, brighter scene. I'll show it to you here. Yeah, we need the rain though. Just north of us, there's forest fires. Now, Winnipeg, it doesn't have a problem, except that, we do have a problem with smoke sometimes. But, we're not the only people in the world that have forest fire problems. That's the way it goes. Now, as I was setting up here this morning to take my shot out the window, just right outside my front window was our little friendly rabbit. And he was munching away on those dandelions. And yeah, as soon as he saw movement in the window, he suddenly became very still. And right now, I can well imagine he is what you might say eyeballing me. Yeah, he's not moving. He's just perfectly still. He doesn't want to be noticed. Or is it a she? I don't know. Okay, I think this is going to work out okay. As long as I remember not to shout because the microphone is right here. Now, I got my NATO black mixed up here. And I'm just going to use my 000 brush. Pardon me, it says it's a 5. Okay, whatever that means, 50. Okay, probably every manufacturer of brushes has different ways of numbering them. Now, wet my whistle, and then maybe my voice will work out a little bit better. And if when I turn this around, I watch the monitor, I should be able to keep it in your field of view there. At least that's the plan. Okay. Now, I do have to get a little bit of extra light going here because, now mind you, it might be okay. Right now we are at f57 for you camera buffs. But I think if I put the light down, it drops down to 2000 ISO from 5000, so I don't know if that's better or worse. I personally think it's better, but maybe not. One of the viewers commented how he likes to do this detailing work, and I'm assuming he was talking about what we were doing yesterday when we were painting the decks so carefully around the not touching the splinter guard. And I was remembering way back in the 80s when I used to enjoy doing this sort of thing too. And when I was doing the Titanic, I remember at that time, my brother had moved from Winnipeg here to Toronto. And he had left about 50 or 60 bottles of homemade ginger beer. And I wasn't heavy into what you might call drinking or anything. Looks like I'm going to have to touch up the deck after I'm through here. But I remember how much I enjoyed drinking that ginger beer while I did detailing like what I'm doing right now. I imagine some of you can relate. You know, I might not have to turn this. Just try and get in behind there. Get a sample a little more here. Yeah. And then about 20 years later, I was, you might say, drinking heavily. And then it got, you might say, worse and worse. Speaking of worse, I got it on the deck there. Well, I'm gonna have to touch up the deck, I guess. Anyway, yeah, it was about the way I remember how long ago it was because I quit drinking about 4 months before my dear Mary was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. And so that's how I can date it. So it'll be the very early of 2013. I just quit. And I got to admit, the first couple of weeks I felt funny. I wasn't, clawing at the furniture or anything like that. Just trying to get over the edge there. Well, maybe that's about as good as I can do here. Yeah, I wasn't clawing at the furniture or anything, but I felt funny. And, yeah, I'm really glad I quit. Really. One of the smartest things I ever did. Now, I think we're going to have to let that dry, and then we'll know how it's going to... it's muggy in here this morning. I ran the air conditioner for the very first time this morning to try and lower the humidity. Mind you, it only says it's 43%, but that hot, dry weather we had a couple of days previous was just so beautiful. But I knew it couldn't last. Winnipeg can actually get quite muggy and hot in the summertime. Okay, stuff has happened here in the last few hours. Nothing serious, just stuff that was probably more important than sitting here at the model table having fun. Anyway, I did get the hatch painted, and what I did was afterwards I went around the deck again, and as you can see, I've sort of worked my way up to the hatch, and I think it's pretty good. Anyway, I'm going to have to call her quits for today, folks. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow. And in the event I do work at this a little bit more this evening, I will video it. However, as I said, we'll see you tomorrow.